Hello everyone and welcome to the STPL. My name is Kix and in a second you'll see Rapids with me.
Ta-da! I'm right here. Thank you very much for having me again, Kix. It's fantastic to be back for another round. It's round 3, week number 1. Does it feel all squeaky and new? Does it have that new STPL smell, Kix?
Well, I think it does. We'll have to find out though.
What does a new STPL smell like? Is it like vaguely aerosol?
I guess a new STPL would smell kind of nostalgic because we have we have all the same teams we had before with a couple of new ones and a whole brand new set of maps, so I guess that's the
Sorry,
only way I can describe it.
I didn't realize that you were resizing my face there for a second, but
yeah.
Victory has been had there. So anyway, brand new season, or I call them seasons, but it's rounds, I guess. So a brand new round of STPL. We have more teams than ever, and returning teams, of course, favorites from last year, and we get a chance to watch some of those here today. We've got White Clan who are coming up a little bit later on. We've got basically every strong team returning. Some teams are kind of reforming, but you know, for all intents and purposes, if you had players that you liked watching last season, you're going to be able to watch them again this season, and you might even find some new players that you like on some of the new teams that have just joined.
Yeah, there's a lot of American teams, well, a lot of American players that have joined in the latest round. So VT from South America, MSJ from South America, and BuLL from North America. So lots of Americans joining in, probably helped by the fact that game times moved slightly a little bit back, but regardless, it should be a good round.
Kix, why is my face maybe 10 FPS?
I don't actually know. I think that's just how the camera is on my Discord.
We might have to fix that. While attractive in 10 FPS, I'm just saying that perhaps there's another option. Anyway, not important. Hopefully I'm on screen as little as possible. I'm excited to get into these games, and I'm excited for you to do that really cool thing that you do where you push all the buttons and all the stats come up.
Yeah, so let's actually have a look at our first set of teams for today. The stats are a little bit messy because it's actually loading the wrong round worth of data. I didn't have time to fix that before we started, but we've got White Clan on the left and BuLL team on the right. And then they're going to be moving on to our first, it's not really our first look, but we did have some show matches. But here is the map pool for today. The week 1 map pool is as follows. Set 1 is on Neo Ground Zero. Set 2 on Plasma. Set 3, Coliseum 2. Set 4, Benzene. And the ace match will be on Icarus.
Okay, so yeah, we had a little bit of time to get used to these maps, but if you're just coming back for this round of STPL, obviously it's going to be a little bit strange. Plasma is like if Benzene had like a big brother, or like or I guess Transistor was like if you took Transistor and you rotated it and then duplicated it, then you would have Plasma. But you've also got some like cloaked eggs and all that other crazy stuff. So yeah, maps are coming back, but so are some of the strongest players, and you can see several of the players you'll get a chance to see today in this list of top 10.
Yeah, not only that, we're going to quickly show off Group A. So Group A in its entirety are BWL, White Clan, Naz, MSJ, Media, FBW. Ninth team have renamed themselves again, so third time lucky for them. BuLL team and Ash. Now, Ash do have a game loss. Now, that is because of a new rule change that's come in just to make sure people get their lineups in time. If you do not reach that deadline, you will get a game penalty. That doesn't affect any of the matches. It's added on top of that, so I've edited that already. They were a little bit late with their week 2 lineup. But other than that, let's have a look at who's going to be playing today. So we're going to have a TBT start us off between GyRo and Raynor, a TBZ between Iris and Dio. Now that isn't the same Iris as Berserker, who recently renamed themselves as someone else. They're going to have first versus Flymeo, and Ghost versus William.
Now, the only William kicks that I know is a man very near and dear to my heart. William, of course, a staple of the foreign brood war community for oh so long. Unfortunately, now no longer with us, or somewhat with us, depending on who wants to rename for that particular day. But this is more importantly William. So I'm not sure I've ever seen the word William before in my life.
Yeah,
But
I haven't either. It confused the heck out of me.
yeah, I will call him William at some point, and maybe there's some memes to be made out of that. Either way, the team for BuLL is not one that I am familiar with, but the team for White Clan does feature some players that we have seen before. Honestly, I never know who's going to come out for White Clan because they actually just have a gigantic roster with some incredible players on it. But
Yeah.
I mean, I would favor them just by default because they are a very strong South Korean clan, and they did very well last season and the season before.
Yeah, they did a great job. Now, of course, GyRo is going to be one of our first players here. He's actually their captain. So if he's played at least, I think, about 4 games overall. He did play 3 games last round. I think he actually played 1 or 2 in the first round as well. So he's been around, but having a look at the Twitter poll I did, there was only 3 votes, but all 3 people thought the White Clan were going to win. So gonna be interesting to see if BuLL team can actually stand up to them. Now, they didn't play as well in round 2 as what I thought they would do, and I think they were a little bit disappointed with how they did as well. But the game time is slightly later, so they've got a little bit more time to wake up and everything, which is obviously a pretty big boon when you sort of play when you first wake up. But either way, should be pretty cool. The man standing in front of GyRo is going to be Raynor. Now, Raynor actually did the best out of anyone on BuLL team last round, went 4 for 1, and he's 1 for 1 in TBT, but the one he lost was against some crazy good player. I think it was Koga, I can't remember, but an insane job by him. And they're going to be moving on to Neo Ground Zero.
Does that mean that we also are moving on to Neo Ground Zero kicks?
We are indeed. Now, we're both in the game, so let's head on over. But just quickly, Neo Ground Zero, of course, a 4-player map. You may have seen it more recently in Mu Pro League, where you would have seen Sharp take down Flash in a really epic TBT. So let's hope we get a good TBT here as well as we head on to our game. Just do the micro. There we go. And starting us off in the top right hand position, we do have in the yellow, fighting for white, it's GyRo.
And his opponent in the bottom left hand corner of Neo Ground Zero in the blue is Raynor. This is like the 8th player named Raynor that I know that plays StarCraft. There's ones with like Raynors with E's and A's, and there's also one that has an I in Raynor. Don't even ask me. It's Rainor. And I'm like, okay, man, you're just really out there. But yeah, I'm not as familiar with Raynor here. I want to see how he does against GyRo. I don't know exactly what the turn rate is every time a player from White Clan plays somebody outside Korea, especially if it's somebody from South America. A lot of times that can be very low. But I don't know. I hope that it is playable so we can watch good games from these players.
Yeah, now I know in round 1 at least, White Clan did complain a little bit about lag, but they understood that it was going to be something they would have to kind of deal with just because it is a global tournament. But in round 2 they didn't complain as much. Apparently the lag wasn't as bad. Of course there was a few instances, like I know that White Clan and NetWars had a few connection problems, so that was a bit of a pain, especially because it was the final as well. But with the South American teams, depending on where they are, they don't seem to have too much problem. I mean, it is going to be a little bit laggy nonetheless, but
hey,
that's the main
at least
reason why
Terra
we
and Dandy
players,
have the
so.
best internet connections in the country, so they're helping out there. But regardless, we can talk about the game a little bit. It looks like we're gonna have maybe 1 Rax. And gas. I've actually seen quite a few. I know Last has been doing gasless expands, and who was the guy I was watching do this yesterday? Oh, BuLL did a couple of gasless expands. as well in Have At You the other day. But looks like we are going to have basically the same build from both players.
Yeah, I mean, Factory Expand is going to be one of the most run-of-the-mill builds in TBT. Does keep you safe. Of course, if your opponent goes for something like a 14cc or even a 1-Rax Fast Expand, you're going to be behind ever so slightly, but it's sometimes worth it just to get a little bit of a safer opening in, just because you may not know too much about your opponent. And GyRo kind of doesn't play all that much. He's not one of the most well-known members of White Clan, despite the fact he is the captain. But he spends a lot more time captaining in the team than playing, so Raynor may have found it a little bit harder to find information about him, and vice versa as well. I mean, at least with GyRo, he has a couple of rounds of STPL behind him. He's played a couple of TBTs in them as well, so Raynor could have looked at the VODs. But I mean, GyRo only had 1 round worth of that, so it's a little bit harder for him.
You know, I find it hard to believe that a lot of players, you know, maybe if it's like a super crucial match, but you know, this is the very beginning of the season. So maybe these players are super try-hard. They're out there Googling VODs to try to figure out what's going on. But I think more of what I expect from STPL is just, you know, players trying to, you know, play their best on the day. And of course, you know, it's somewhat unique maps that maybe they don't have a lot of practice on, but I don't know what to expect is all I'm trying to say. But let's see how well both of our players deal with the SCVs in their bases. It looks like actually really good control is going to keep both of them alive for the time being, and they'll see exactly what's coming on the other side and realize that they are pretty mirrored builds.
Yeah, the only thing is GyRo's factory came up a lot quicker. But
yeah.
to do that, he did get he even got his command center a little bit quicker as well. So GyRo a little bit ahead in that regard. It looks like both of them will save their SCVs. Raynor's barely getting out alive with 18 health. And wow, GyRo actually lost his, so that's actually a pretty big deal.
Yeah, Raynor gets out with his, so he not only saves it, but will have that if he wants to like turn it around or send out another SCV. He can also like bring another SCV, repair that SCV, and then have 2 SCVs on the Vulture as it tries to poke up the ramp. And if you can hit early enough with that, that can actually be a little bit scary to deal with. Obviously, Vultures do pretty well against Marines, and you know, repair beats no repair. So. It doesn't look like it's going to be one of those sort of early aggressive pushes. I mean, I guess you would really call that a push. It's only 4 units. But the idea is that it's the smallest of microscopic advantages for Raynor. And I don't know what to expect here, but you know, just by virtue of GyRo being just that little bit faster, it looks like he's on point a little bit more.
Yeah, Raynor though did get his second factor up a lot quicker. We saw GyRo skip his first Vulture as well to get the machine shop up quicker, so he's going to get quicker speed, but he is going to be up against 2 factories worth of production, soon to be 3 as well. We don't see a third factory yet coming in for GyRo, it's just starting at this point, so even though Raynor is a little bit behind economically, he's going to be ahead production-wise very, very shortly.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you do want to get out there for like soft map control out on the map, but neither player, unless you're like really committing to like some sort of crazy Vulture run by, which if it doesn't deal critical damage might just lose you the game.
Yeah.
Neither player probably going to be thinking about critical damage just yet. So even if there was a slight variation, or one player had you know, an extra machine shop and a slower factory or something along those lines, that's not going to be very pronounced for a few more minutes.
Yeah, now we actually have GyRo going up straight into 4 factories. We do have an armory coming in though for Raynor, so Raynor's going to be playing a little bit more conservative here. He's going to have to be a little bit on the defensive. He sees the factory count with his barracks as well, so he should be feeling pretty good. One of the main reasons for going for this early armory is it does allow you to get, obviously, Goliaths to deal with any raids that could be coming out, which is a good common follow-up from this kind of early Vulture play, so...
Yeah, and with mines just now finishing for Raynor, he should be able to get out there and start laying those, I guess, preemptive minefields. Still don't see a 5th factory coming up from Raynor, if I'm not mistaken.
Or a 4th.
Yeah, he's still sitting on 3 in his main, so his production is going to be really behind if he doesn't start to kick it into high gear.
Yeah, the only thing is this will allow him to get a quicker command center if he does so choose to take a third. Pumping 5 vultures at a time is very, very expensive mineral-wise. I mean, we see both of them not even bothering to get their best mean geyser yet at the natural, purely because it's not necessary. They're spending so many minerals on vultures right now, and the gas is just going to start banking up.
Yeah, but correct me if I'm wrong, Kix, but like, where did those extra minerals go for Raynor? Where did he spend the minerals that GyRo put into the extra factories?
I mean, Raynor actually has a 10 supply lead as well, so I genuinely don't actually understand.
Yeah, so something happened along the way here. I mean, there is that the armory that we were talking about, which is just now being completed by GyRo, but I don't know, maybe I missed something along the way, because Raynor's not only has the supply advantage, but he also has mines, which GyRo does not have.
Yes,
so I mean, we're getting siege mode coming out. Oh, he does, but he hasn't like been laying them out on the map yet.
Yeah, so Raynor definitely has what you called soft map control before. He's got a good minefield out the front. Does make it a little bit harder for any early siege lines to go up in his vicinity, but Raynor's going to add his 4th factory on finally. Possibly going to see him going for a 3rd base quicker than GyRo, but you've got to be careful because of course the 3rd base on this map is mineral only, so while it's going to be beneficial for them while they're going vultures, a little bit later in the game it's not as perfect. But here we go, looks like GyRo going to lay some of his own mines, and we're going to see that weird moment in TVT where both of them have mines on top of each other. And,
and none of the mines do anything because it's only vultures out on the map. So it's like, aha, I'm going to lay mines on your mines. And not only do mines not set off other mines, but vultures don't set them off either. Or workers, or it's just, or kakaroos as they fly overhead. But oh boy, vulture on vulture action kicks. I think Raynor just has way more.
Not only does he have more, he's actually target firing really well. I mean, he's pulling back some damage vultures as well, and that's a great victory for Raynor, and it looks like GyRo are going to try and go in and get some SCV damage with his final vultures, but he's going to be so far behind now. He's trailing by 20 supply.
Yeah, wait a second. Does Raynor just have faster upgrades, more vultures, but with less factories? What? Okay. So he wins the fight, crushes it, and now he's gonna have 1 billion vultures laying mines right on top of these tanks across the map. Boom goes the dynamite, but actually the mines kill more of Raynor's units than they do of GyRo's.
Yeah, that's kind of funny, but we do see the reason why Raynor did have more vultures is obviously GyRo did go into tank Goliath a little bit quicker. He did want to try and spend some of his gas, but the trouble he's going to have is Raynor now has mines all the way outside of his front. He's also up against +1 upgrade when he doesn't have a single upgrade going. I mean, his upgrade's about 3/4 of the way done now, but this is a big advantage for Raynor to have.
Yeah, Raynor, huge control right now. Not only that, wait, where did the Marine go that was killing the barracks that's floating over his natural? You kind of want to get rid of that free vision if you can. I don't know exactly what happened to that. I guess, yeah, it did kind of go that way earlier. But yeah, Raynor making great usage of this control, starting up his 3rd base. But, once again, GyRo is a little bit faster with that. Although I would say that, after losing such a huge contingent of your army, I don't know if that is going to be as easy to defend as it would have if he had played more defensively.
Yeah, now, I mean, we're seeing both of them going for 3 factory add-on tanks now, and we're going to see a little bit of a normalization in the game. Even though GyRo did take a lot of damage, he lost a lot of his early units. As long as he doesn't lose too many SCVs, he should be in a good spot now. Looks like GyRo going to get that expansion up quicker, but that's a very good move in with the vultures. But still, they've kind of traded all their vultures away again, and now we're going to sort of head into a more normalized mid-game TVT, I'd say.
I thought he was actually going to commit the vultures just to kill even more SCVs. But yeah, this is not only a faster command center for GyRo, but it's up and running faster. So he's going to be not only on 3 bases, but mining off 3 gases. The refinery hasn't even started yet for Raynor. So economic advantage might start kicking in for GyRo. Keep in mind, he has a more diversified mech army with Goliaths and tanks in here, which are just going to fare maybe a little bit better as they move across the map. Still no science vessels, or I guess he's also out of, no, he's got 1 scan, no, 2, just now 2 scans coming up, so he should be able to push through this minefield if he wants to keep going.
Yeah, now the trouble is, of course, he's we do see Raynor with a little bit of defender's advantage here, but he's cut off from his own third base. Oh no, there's actually a little bit of mismicro there by Raynor, letting one of his tanks run in and die. But here we go, the Vultures getting on top of the tanks, dropping their mines. Gonna see what they can do. Looks like GyRo even bought... Oh, that huge mine drag is such a big deal.
Yeah, less of Mine Dragon, more of just like them being planted in the no man's land. The CV's even coming along for the hard push. That's I guess it's kind of strange, but he's gonna go for you know, a lot of repairs. Although I would still say that these tanks are still pretty vulnerable. I don't like what Raynor's doing here. He's just funneling units into this tank line. Now he's Maynarding the SCVs right into enemy tank fire. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Wait, how did all those SCVs live? I'll never understand Brood War kicks.
Yeah, we didn't see GyRo focus those. He wanted to try and kill the Vultures to keep his tanks alive, because his tank count has been basically reset again. And the big problem with TVT is you want to keep that tank count as high as humanly possible. We see that GyRo is remaking his barracks. He does have a science facility, and he's gone into double armory. Meanwhile, back at home, we only see the 1 armory still from Raynor, and we don't see a starport yet even. So his upgrades are going to slowly start to fall further and further behind.
Going up to 7-8 facts for Raynor, but on the other side, I don't think the production has increased that much. Yeah, still just 5 factories for GyRo, so kind of the shoe on the other foot, as it were, kicks. And now Raynor is really going to start to maybe not pull ahead, but certainly stabilize on his side of the map. Although he does need to build a Goliath to kill this Wraith off.
Yeah, that's going to be a bit annoying. He needs to pull an SUV to repair it as well if he can. GyRo being a little bit more efficient with his units as well, making sure to repair everything. One of the things we don't really see too much from Raynor. The other thing is Raynor's gone for more factories because he's building more Vultures. GyRo can't actually afford... Whoa! He misclicked and killed his own tank. Oh no, there we go.
Looks like the repair is going to come through, but it's not going to last long enough to save that tank, so the Wraith will kill that off. 1 Wraith versus 1 tank. Oh boy.
That Wraith
but yeah, now... Oh, was it really 2?
Yeah.
I was watching the Vultures run around, but yeah, wow. And now Mines is taking out units as they move out across the map. Let's see how much damage these Vultures can get done. There's really only Vultures and a couple of Goliaths to defend back at that 3rd base. Mines being laid outside the entrance, so this actually could deal a lot of damage.
I don't know, Goliaths are pretty strong rapid. Look how quickly they're killing the Vultures.
Oh my god.
He does actually have upgrade, no, he doesn't have upgrade advantage just yet, but we see a dropship ferrying in a couple of tanks as well. And that's gonna save his base from any economic damage.
Man, I really underestimate how little damage Vultures do to Goliaths and how much they deal on the other side. Those type imbalances really making that a rough fight. So great defense. The dropships being used really effectively to kind of defend that 3rd base and keep it from getting cut off by that minefield.
Yeah, now it looks like we're going to have GyRo trying to take sneaky 4th base in the bottom right. He's also got a dropship going around there as well. And we don't actually have that much dropship defense from Raynor, even though he has seen the dropship now. Needs to be a little bit more careful. He's trying to move out to sort of cut off the top left of the map so he can expand himself. But he's going to be running into GyRo's army if he's not very careful. Oh, what's the reaction going to be? Oh my god, there could be a huge mine here. He needs to... Raynor needs to be so close.
Oh, they're so close. The mine's popping up, but thankfully there's a ton of tanks, although I think 1 did go off, yeah. So 1 does hit, but no gigantic mine drag explosion from moving tanks over minefields. Although this is very dangerous. Why? Oh my god, this is not looking good for our heroes. Thankfully, I mean, the Vultures will eventually break up onto the high ground, and the tanks doing what tanks do best, and taking that out, although, oh my god. I feel like Raynor's killed more of his own units with his mines than he has enemy units. But hey, effective way to shut down the 3rd base.
Yep, it is. He's taken a lot of damage though back at home. The Goliath's actually still alive. Could even take down his armory, which is going to be a big pick-off. 4 Goliaths do an insane amount of damage if units go in one by one. And I mean, the third base of GyRo is going to go down. He's got the fourth base coming up as well. And GyRo does have a good position on the map. Raynor doesn't actually have a siege line to defend his own third.
Yeah, this actually could deal a ton of damage. The siege line being set up, but now vultures are going to start to move in there. And I don't think there's dropships out for Raynor to kind of ferry his units to the third to keep it from getting cut off. But yeah, once again, the mine's still hitting, and with that one lonely Goliath left over at the end, it looks like Raynor will just barely be able to break through and save that third base.
Yeah, he saves his third base, which is of course a huge thing for him. Obviously, back over on the third of GyRo, he's forced to pull the command center back. It is going to go down as well. Mid-flight, I believe. Possibly not, actually. Does manage to get away, so he should be able to save that, as long as he doesn't let it burn down. But we've got a kind of weird situation now. We're seeing the dropship play obviously coming in from GyRo. Raynor still without a starport, I believe. He's just adding his barracks on again. And without a starport, without a science facility, his upgrades are going to fall behind. I mean, it looks like we do have 2-1 finish for GyRo. GyRo, of course, with a lot of idle SCVs as well. He's got nowhere to send them to mine. But with 2-1 upgrades against 1-1, this is going to be a big deal. Slowly but surely, 2 attack tanks do kill enemy tanks in 2 shots, I believe, rather than 1. So Raynor's going to have to be a lot more careful with his units. He's not going to be able to run in with so many vultures anymore and get those money mines that's really kept him alive this entire time.
Yeah, attack upgrades pretty good. So that advantage will at least allow GyRo to win fights that are even, but I think most of the time he's been fighting fights that aren't. For example, he's going to try to push up here and siege on this third base again, but just look at how many tanks there are here to defend this. Dropships, though, loaded up, coming in. There's not enough Goliaths on the ground to defend, and so a big doom drop from GyRo going to drop all over this production. There are mines laid in advance, but I think the dropships are just going to completely bypass them, heading down to the bottom left-hand corner.
Yeah, they are. This is another money location to drop now. He's just rebuilt the armory down there as well, but the SCV is actually doing a hell of a lot of work. It looks like the dropships didn't fully unload everything, and that's going to allow Raynor to defend.
Man, if you ever doubted that SCVs are a really good worker unit, that should help you out a little bit there. But now trying to retreat, thankfully there's only 1 Goliath, and it's not going to be able to pick off any of the dropships, so they all get out scot-free. But at the same time, we'll see BuLL, or Raynor rather, be able to defend this third base yet again. So, wow, nothing really working out super well here for GyRo.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing GyRo has going for him is he has managed to secure his third base, but he's lost his third gas, and GyRo is now on Raynor is now on 4 bases. And I mean, we see GyRo cutting off the top left-hand side. That is going to allow him to try and maybe take another expansion. Yeah, he's actually going to take his 4th base now at the other mineral only, so he's going to have to rely a lot on vultures moving forward if he doesn't get another gas soon.
Where's he going to get that gas from? I mean, he can't
Top
take
left.
his
He's
third...
going to have to.
Yeah, he can't take his third base. He can't take the 4th way down to the bottom right. He's going to have to try to get this, I guess, what is this, 12 o'clock base up? Or not even the 12, because there's no gas there, because these are all mineral onlys. Wow, yeah. I'm really not used to this map. But how is he going to take top left? Like, in what world can he get that far away from his base and defend?
Well, you can split the map horizontally, no problem, but the trouble is he's lost all of his tanks again, and he doesn't have enough gas to rebuild them. And I mean, even though he's got the upgrade advantage, there's just such a unit advantage coming in from Raynor that it doesn't matter how many tanks you have with high upgrades. If the opponent has more, it's going to be very difficult for you to do anything, and it looks like Raynor is slowly pushing his way to victory now.
Yep, I think he is. He is realizing, hey, what are the bases I really need to make sure I shut down? He knows he's got the bottom right on lock, so he's going to the upper left, making sure that he's going to plant some mines here, just making this very annoying to deal with. And as long as you can see, he just went and planted mines at 3 o'clock as well. He knows, okay, well, I've locked down every single gas on the map and completely denied GyRo from being able to have that income.
Now, one thing I've noticed which is really, really strange is Raynor actually went for double armory again, but he still doesn't have a starport, so I mean his double armory he's not going to be able to upgrade from because he can't get a science facility, so kind of confused by that play, but I mean Raynor is actually mined out this main, mined out this natural, same as GyRo, so ironically enough, GyRo is actually going to have a mineral advantage now because Raynor is only mining off of one base, is going to run out very soon as well, about halfway done. Of course he does have this mineral only that I completely forgot about, but we're going to see GyRo trying to do a little bit of harass down here as well.
I love the way that you put that. Trying to do a little bit of harass down there. It's like double qualified into oblivion. It's just like, well, he's trying. He gets the participation trophy here because just I mean, but beyond the supply difference, which isn't actually that great, but just watch Raynor mow down everything in his path right here.
Yeah.
Everything that GyRo has is just going to instantly implode.
Well, he does have a tank on the high ground though, but I mean there's just so many tanks here from Raynor. I mean he can be mining off of 2 mineral only bases, but if you can't kill the enemy's tanks, it doesn't really matter. And it looks like he's going to be trying to drop SCVs on top of this. This may be able to allow him to do something. Maybe he can make something work with vultures, but with only one gas mining in a second, he's not going to be able to do anything, and GG! Raynor is going to take down GyRo in our first game.
Wow, really kind of surprising, I guess I would say. You might look at the results from White Clan and just always vote for them no matter what. I was checking your STPL poll on twitter.com/STPLTV, and no one voted for BuLL at all. So Raynor taking game number 1 is going to come probably as a big surprise to a lot of people.
It is more than likely it's going to be a big surprise to GyRo as well. Raynor definitely showing why he was the best player from round 2 on BuLL, and showing a really good start at the start of round 3, so that's pretty good for him.
Yeah, and that is going to take us into game number 2 with BuLL up 1-0. This is a best of 5 where we play all of the first 4 games. And let me see if I can cheat a little bit and see who the next few players are coming up. Okay. If you guys want to see who the next few players coming up are, you can, of course, go over to, I guess, it's not tweeted on the main account, but I tweeted a list of the players from the TL thread on my Twitter, and it looks like Iris versus Dark is coming up next.
Okay, so there was a slight player change, so it's Iris versus Dio, but we'll be back just after